has been feeling that the chairman has run it as his own fiefdom, that the chairman is the BNP. Now, frankly, there is only one way to resolve this. There is only one way to extradite the poison from this, and that is to run the party internally on proper democratic principles. The national officers of a party, in terms of something like the national executive which the Labour Party has, need to be elected by the membership. The fully paid officials need to be elected by the membership. And then by doing that, everybody knows the score. The people who are being paid full time have the mandate of the members. Everything is accountable and transparent, and that removes the reason for people to become disillusioned and believe that the party is being run as a little fiefdom of a certain inner circle. The democratisation of any nationalist party is the only way you will, in the long term, avoid the constant splits, the constant arguments, and the constant disintegration and atomisation of nationalist politics. That's what's needed: proper, firm pressure from all the nationalists, across whatever parties they may be now, to push one nationalist party, and I suggest that would be the BNP, to democratise, to stop, systematically remove the obstacles of transparency and membership-led decision-making. That's what I think is the way forward to stop the continual atomisation of nationalist politics. Eva?
Right, thank you for that. Thank you for that. It was very well articulated, and it gives me hope, because I'm just, at the end of the day, I'm a blogger and a writer and a rabble-rouser. It is up to people like yourself, Nonak, I've no idea who you are, and people from within, all across the nationalist spectrum, to get together and hammer this out. In a second, Charles, and hammer this out. So, Nonak, I think what you said there was excellent advice. Now, how we get these people, and you know something, somebody wrote something there about the Führer Prince. I don't know who said it. Been involved in national politics since '76. Incidentally, any lies you've heard spread about me are lies. But I'm as guilty as being the Führer Prince supporter, or whatever they call them, as any. And perhaps it's because I'm the last, amongst the last of the old guard. It's the way that the nationalists kept things going then, you know, and perhaps it's time that us people were, well, I'm not saying pushed aside, but sort of moved over to younger people, more in tune with modern politics. I just hope that we can get the best people from all the nationalist spectrum to somehow come together at a meeting and hammer out a solution for this. Now, we mentioned that these people have big egos. They do. Well, if they've got big egos and big heads, it's up to the membership and people like ourselves to knock their heads together and make them see sense. Because I think we're all agreed that we are running out of time. We really are running out of time. And people who are fighting internet wars at the moment could well, in just a couple of years, be forced to fight side by side on the streets. I don't think I'm being dramatic when I say that. We've saw what happened in Kosovo. We know what happens. We know what's coming. We must unite. And our leaders, if they are not man enough to unite with other nationalists, then they must be removed. Your mic techno.
You mentioned Kosovo there, War. You sound like an old, but you said services. Well, I was in the service too in Kosovo, yeah, and it's ridiculous what happened in Kosovo, yeah, and it's like inviting the Muslims into your home again. I've said this in other rooms, and there's people here that will listen to me. I know why, and the Muslims came into Kosovo, the Kosovan Albanians, they lived there for years. It's our home now, isn't it? It don't work that way. It don't work that way. You know, and thank you, War, for mentioning Kosovo, because I've actually been there and I've seen the flipping effects of it. People in this and their thank you was, the flipping Muslims, was come and blow up London, because who was bombed Belgrade? Who bombed the Christians? Who bombed the Serbians? Belgrade and fucking the US. Yeah? So I was G-Room. Sorry, I just noticed. I beg your pardon for the language. I beg your pardon about that. But, yeah. And, sorry about that. Alright? But, yeah, thanks for mentioning that. Yeah. People, look it up. Well, the younger people, look it up. Your mic, Johnny.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Johnny Leach, I'm former Greenwich organiser. I've been a part of the Reform Group since its inception. I'd encourage all members of 2 years or more to make sure they sign the nomination papers this year. The BNP Reform Group does not want any repercussions against anybody for their actions taken in support of Griffin in the last year, Mr Griffin in the last year, or during last year's election process or non-election process. Anyone who looks at that will see how crooked it was. I'd strongly encourage anybody to get in touch with BNP Reform if you want to help along with the process this year. It's it will be a united challenge again, and it will be from all parts of the country. Candidates won't be decided because of possible expulsions, but there will be a candidate and there will be a deputy put forward for nomination, and it is the only way forward where we can change the way this party's run. We need accountability. The leadership has to be accountable to the rank and file of this party, to this movement. Our party is going to the ground. It is bankrupt at the moment. Apparently £11,000 a week are meant to be found to keep this party running, all down to bad management and terrible decisions. I urge you all to consider signing those nomination papers. Thank you.
Okay, I got most of that, Johnny. I got most of that. It seems, guys, first of all, thank you very much for keeping the debate civilized. Thank you very much. I've just put my single earphone on, so I don't know if my sound's coming through. Can I have a sound check, please, guys? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, good. I could actually hear Johnny when I put them on. I understand what you're saying. You know that personally I'm in disagreement. I think it's too late for the BNP, but that's only my personal opinion. I don't see it surviving much longer, and well, I think nationalists from within the British National Party, from all the national parties, must get together. Now, it's not all doom and gloom, guys. The Reds, our enemies, the establishment, the New World Order, may well think that, oh look, the BNP is collapsing. Well, the BNP may be collapsing, but the nationalist movement isn't collapsing. The nationalist movement is actually growing in support. Okay, they're not joining the parties yet at the moment, and we've got to ask ourselves why. Everything has a sell-by date. I believe the BNP may well have had a sell-by date. You know what terrifies the establishment? That we'll all go running off to UKIP. Frightens them to death that we'll all go running off to UKIP. They're frightened that the EDL will become a political party and we all go running off there, all united under one banner. It terrifies the establishment. Mr. Fox, I will be doing that. Yes. If I'm asked the question, what will the British resistance site be doing, then I'll answer that question. You're Mike Badger. Yeah. Your opinion, George? Everyone's entitled to their opinion. Do we kind of agree in principle, guys, that we must stop these attacks on each other? Or at least if we can't stop the attacks, whatever, that we try to refrain from personality attacks. I'm guilty of them. I'm talking about Mr. Butler. Do I think Mr. Butler was right? Did someone ask about Mr. Butler? Did someone ask about him? Yeah. I think that Mr. Butler said some very true things. Very true things. But I think he went about his challenge in the wrong way. He allowed it to become personal and stuff like that. And however, what did I do? I attacked Mr. Butler. Yes, I know. I'm aware of it. I'm indifferent. I'm answering messages as well, guys. I don't know whether now, I no longer know whether Eddie Butler was in a brothel or not in Brussels. I do know one thing. I think that Clive Jefferson, and I told Clive Jefferson, publicly told Clive Jefferson, that what I thought he'd done was absolutely disgusting with that little camera of his. I thought that was totally and utterly disgusting. Yes. And that was shameful. Shameful, shameful, shameful behaviour. Yes, I published it. I did. And I also attacked Clive Jefferson for doing it. And I've said I was wrong about a lot of things, Y-Link. Now, those on the other side have said a lot of bad things about a lot of people. We all have. Well, we've got to put these differences behind us, guys. We've got to forgive each other and go forward together. Because if we don't, we'll all die together. You're Mike Badger. Badger, do you want to come to the mic, or... You're Mike Badger. Okay, somebody lower Badger's hand, please. One True God, your mic.
I've heard quite a few names of people that used to be in the BNP that are in the BNP now, and what they're doing, what they were doing, what they weren't doing. And to be honest with you, I've heard nothing really that I like, really. I mean, I've been to the last 4 day of actions. I've been to the last organisers meeting, and I can see a lot of people working the guts out to make this party work and to get our message out. I can also see a lot of people attacking the party and doing it no good whatsoever, whether they're in the party, whether they're not in the party, whether they were in the party, or whether they're, you know, whether they're not even, whether they're Reds. And it just really gets me when you keep arguing amongst yourself. It's like the guy said earlier. I think whenever I see Nick Griffin, I see a guy working his guts. I don't see him living on the top of a personal empire and this, that, and the other. He speaks his heart out when he talks. I mean, I really think some guys should look at themselves and feel ashamed of what they're actually saying about this guy. He puts his family through something that nobody really should have to go through. I mean, he really